everyone, and welcome into more Ticket to Ride here on the Sorcerer Network. My name is Sorcerer Matt. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you're enjoying the content, enjoying all the Ticket to Ride, please hit that subscribe button. I would really, really appreciate it. So, is this just all 5 here? I don't think really this. I don't think this is that big of a deal to just do all 5 here. And we have plenty of options on the route here with the main things we need to hook up. What are the main routes? Winnipeg to Duluth to Chicago is a necessity, and then obviously getting Chicago to Pittsburgh. I'm saying again. This is going to be a journey, folks. We're gonna stop. I'm gonna break this habit. We're gonna break this habit with this channel. I shouldn't be so hard on myself. But anyway, I digress. Excuse me. I believe that now from there we could go Omaha, Denver, Salt Lake City, or we could go through the middle, kind of like in the just go Chicago to Omaha to Denver to Salt Lake City. Then I have an interesting decision to make with how do I want to kind of connect. Are El Paso and New Orleans the endpoints, or am I connecting New Orleans and El Paso? So I believe because of that, we are looking at a connecting New Orleans and El Paso, which means I probably should have grabbed Houston to New Orleans right there. And then, because I now cannot go Denver to El Paso, and there's really not a great way besides right down the middle to make that happen. So I believe that the correct play here is to use pink. And I don't necessarily have to get 6 green. I could also go Dallas to El Paso, and hooking up Dallas is probably not the worst idea. And probably grabbing Pittsburgh to Chicago next turn would be really nice. Though there is an argument for keeping the black for Winnipeg to Duluth and just going red here. I think that's probably what I'm doing. The other route that I would like to prioritize would be a Salt Lake to Denver, especially given that all 3 of my opponents are in that area. And then it's just, we got this whole route up here, and then these 2 down here, we'll just connect them either through Atlanta, Nashville, which I may want to do just for the long-term potential of this game, but I also don't want to spend so much time getting Nashville to Atlanta and St. Louis to Nashville when I don't need it right now. I can also hook up through Raleigh as well. Okay, I like this. I like this plan. Kind of solidify that. And I also like the Winnipeg to Duluth here, depending on what is on board. Orange would be the thing that I would really want. Ooh, I like that we get a little board reset. Yeah. And then I guess blue and pink, because I like grabbing the routes of 4. I think that's pretty nice. Red also would be something I would be jazzed about. Okay, let's do this, because I want the orange side there, definitely. Red would be the other thing. Red and pink are kind of the main things. It seems like as of this moment, I'm not going to have to worry as much about this area of the map, the Nashville, St. Louis, Little Rock, Dallas, famous last words, if you've ever played a game of Ticket to Ride. But as of this moment, I'm feeling less pressure to get all of this done and want to get some of this northern stuff done. Clearly yellow is going to kind of be taking a route up in this area. So let's... Interesting. Very interesting. Maybe should have played Winnipeg to Duluth there instead of grabbing the pink, but I don't think that that's going to be what kills us. But now we will do that. I suppose I have 2 wilds as well. I could really get aggressive and go Duluth to Chicago, but that seems a little much. Okay, interesting. So that is very interesting from red. Don't see this kind of route too often. It looks like this is probably a Vancouver. I think Vancouver to Santa Fe, Calgary to Phoenix, El Paso, that area. That am I taking crazy pills here? That it seems like more and more people are not prioritizing the Seattle to Portland when they have it and relying on an insane amount of luck. We see blue taking red, not as concerned about that. Probably they're doing something down in this area, either trying to get to Miami. Oh, well, that's interesting. Okay. So... I'm grabbing the yellow and the orange because I want to go New Orleans to Atlanta. That's definitely what I want to do. So there's that. Then I'm going to grab this blue. I kind of want everything. And that's okay. You're taking orange. So, wow. You need to go into Montreal? Hmm. I don't think I do anything about that. I'm going with the no funny business, please. I don't want anyone to steal that route. No funny business. Interesting. So it is becoming increasingly more likely now with the board here that I am going to want to go through Nashville, St. Louis. Because now this route has all of a sudden become very gummed up. So, what? Seattle to Pittsburgh, maybe, or sorry, Seattle to New York, maybe a Portland to Pittsburgh, and a Toronto to Charleston, maybe. So this I'm happy to do. And then with the 2 orange, probably pretty happy to grab St. Louis to Nashville. And even I might go as far as to spend a wild to get New Orleans to Atlanta. Ah, okay. Maybe not do that. Maybe not do that. Because now, don't really care as much. What is... What are we doing? Ah, so is red split? So does red have, like, Vancouver to Denver, Vancouver to Santa Fe, and then, like, New York to Miami, Boston to Washington? Is it just splitting the force? Takes 2. Okay, okay. Very interested in how blue takes this route. That's going to determine how we're going to do El Paso. I suppose we could also look at going El Paso to Santa Fe and then going into Oklahoma City? Question mark? Seems like something I don't want to do, but might end up doing. It depends on where Blue's at. And what Blue is doing. Because I'm assuming Blue wants to come further east. Yeah, I don't like that you're taking green. Okay. I am okay doing this. The good news about our draws. Okay, so that now... I'm okay with that. That now means... I can also look to grab 4 red instead. I just don't have any red. But I also want to use the blue here rather than having to use the blue to go to Oklahoma City. I'm gonna waste a turn here. Or waste is not a... That's not a... I want to get a single for Houston to Dallas. What in the blazes do you have, Blue? All of my opponents are doing like split route things. And I'm really confused by it. So red is what I'm looking for, is really the main takeaway from this part of the presentation. And I really only need 2, because at this point I would deploy the Wilds to go Denver to El Paso, or Dallas to El Paso, whatever city this is. Denver and Dallas, 2 very different cities. Well, that's pretty nice. So let's shore up this. I'm very interested in what's happening with my opponents here. I'm a little bit concerned that red's all of a sudden going to take this route, but we'll cross that bridge. I guess red doesn't have any cards, so I guess I'm not worried about that happening. So red is split, yellow is split. Blue looks like they're connecting their stuff up. But their routes are not very clear. The Vegas thing confuses me. I'm incredibly confused by the Vegas route. I have no idea what's happening. Maybe should be prioritizing Chicago to St. Louis, but so be it. Okay, now that makes a little more sense, because that's probably a Vegas to New York. This is a pretty interesting route by Blue. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do this. Now, the one thing that is a little bit of an issue is what in the world am I looking for? I mean, I need to draw. The nice thing is I've completed 5 tickets, which is 1 less than what red has, and I have not seen the split board work. But, you know. All right, so we're definitely not into Los Angeles. Nashville, obviously not into Vegas. Nashville to New York is probably our best bet. I don't really want to try to also then try to get Boston to Washington. I'd rather just focus on trying to do New York. We do have 2 different routes into New York. or I guess 3 technically. We could go Pittsburgh to Washington to New York, or we could go down the edge of the map here. I would prefer just to get 2 green, but beggars can't be choosers, I suppose. I am going to grab a pair. And I might as well grab the orange as well. I mean, if I don't see any green, I'm not going to spend 50 turns trying to get a green. I'd rather just grab Pittsburgh to Washington. Okay, so blue now has some... Blue's pretty powerful, I think, depending on what they hit off the top. Because having 77 points, and I'm also very happy that I have these 2 pair, because I think if blue is smart, yeah, I'll say blue should end the game. So really the big question here is, does red, we're going to, assuming red does not grab this, which they won't because they're already there, we complete all the tickets. I mean, I guess blue could draw some as well. Blue definitely has longest train because the other 2 players are, you know. All right, so red misses on 1. Okay, that is excellent, because now we get the 15-point bonus. That's a big boost for us, because we don't have necessarily huge tickets here. We got some, we don't have bad tickets, but we're 111, not great. Ooh, blue misses 1 too. All right, Duluth to Houston, Montreal to Chicago. Okay, there's Vegas to New York, and there's Dallas to New York. Okay. So you miss... I'm going to lose on longest train, though, because blue got it. I don't think that... That's probably okay, just given where we're at with the tickets. One more ticket draw would have done it. So good game by blue, but people. Don't do this split thing. I don't know what tickets they drew. Maybe that's just kind of what the game gave them, but pretty much there's rare occasions that you should decide to split what you're doing this much. I mean, yes. Oh, okay. Yes. GG. I mean, maybe yellow. So obviously, this is the one. This is the ones that yellow drew. So again, I don't know what yellow had in the opening hand. Seattle to New York's fine. Even if you were to pick Los Angeles to Calgary, and this is my 4 corners principle. You have this person is trying to go Seattle, which is this corner, New York, which is this corner, Los Angeles, which is this corner, and then Charleston, which is this corner. Anytime you try to go to all 4 corners of the map, it's not usually going to work. Red is the same way, where they try to go 1, 2, 3, and they're really going to the corners of the map. Whereas if you really look at blue is in this corner, not quite in the Pacific Northwest corner, definitely in this corner, but even so, like even if we call this a corner, that's still 3. Blue is not even worried about this corner of the map. With me, I'm in this upper corner, in this lower corner, and I'm just kind of in no man's land here. But okay, you argue one other corner. I really am not concerned with the Pacific Northwest. So, anytime you're looking at your tickets, if you're having to go to all 4 corners of the map, it's probably a bad idea, because you have to play the perfect game. With what yellow ran into here, it just seemed like yellow had it if they could have played 5 green, and that would have been great. But it wouldn't have, and even if they got in the 20 points, it wouldn't have ended in a victory. Yellow spent their entire game trying to get these 3 tickets. Stick to 3 corners. That's what you got to do. So that's my my words of wisdom for today in this Ticket to Ride video. So hey, thanks for joining us. I say us like there's a ton of people here. It's just me and my house. But thanks. I appreciate all the wonderful support, and we'll see you next time.